Wolfpack, how is everybody? I hope everybody is well. Here we are, day 22 of the full moon challenge. We are at the start of week 4. Can you believe it? This is the very last week of our 30-day full moon challenge. We're coming up very quickly to the new full moon. So make sure you go out there tonight, have a look at it as we start the countdown of the last week and get into the absolute end of this amazing journey that we've all been on. Anyone that's still with me, can I first of all please give you a massive amount of gratitude and appreciation for playing full tilt. I have been watching the videos coming through, the comments that have been coming through, the personal messages have been absolutely amazing and have really touched my heart. I know that it's been an amazing 30 days, but to see your feedback, to see the absolute distinctions and breakthroughs that you guys have gone through has absolutely taken this to the next level. It is just like life, it's just only better, right? So good stuff and congratulations. And as I say, next week, we're about 7 to 8 days away from the next full moon. So make sure that you're out there howling loud and proud in celebration as we come to an end of an amazing 30 days. Do not take your journey and stop here though. There is a lot more that we could do with this. So we want to make sure that we connect on a personal level and make sure that your journey keeps going forward in leaps and bounds. So first of all, have you been enjoying it so far? Awesome, awesome. Can you think of other wolves, other people out there that are lone wolves that you think you would like to invite into the pack? All right, so if you feel you have gained massive value out of this, from this point forward, I challenge you to do this. I want you to howl at least 20 times to different wolves that you know that people are out there and bring them into this group so that we can start to help some other people expand their horizons and start to really reach the full potential of who they are as a human being. Guys, this is the key. The next full moon kicks off another 30-day challenge. It doesn't stop here. This is a revolving thing. You can do it again yourself. You can take your life to the next level if that's what you choose to do. It's up to you, but I am going out and making sure that everybody I know that could get value out of this is in for the next full moon challenge. So start that now. Get them out there, get them involved, and make sure that you bring people in so that they can experience what the wolf pack is actually all about. Okay, tonight we're going to go over and cover how to eliminate self-sabotage and create unstoppable self-confidence. Wouldn't that be cool, right? I'm excited, self-assured, courageous wolves who are making their dreams a reality. That sounds like my kind of pack. You guys have been absolutely outstanding. So let's howl straight into tonight's learnings, okay? Are you ready, wolves? Good. Let me ask you something. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you were doing really well, you're about to hit your goal, and then boom, you do something or don't do something, or don't follow through, or say the wrong thing, and all of a sudden you have like self-sabotaged yourself? Yes? Has anybody out there felt it? I certainly have myself. So why do we do that? Well, subconsciously, we associate more pain with following through. We sabotage ourselves to stop ourselves from doing something because on some level we feel it's going to create a lot of pain. We do it in our relationships, we do it with our bodies, we do it with our business deals, we do it with our financial goals. We talked about this in the last couple of sessions. So why does some of us self-sabotage even though we want success? Because crazily on some level, we feel that moving forwards is going to create massive pain in our lives, or even more pain in our lives. So we must change the associations when they're not serving us. Make sense? Good. Now let me be clear on something. I do not want you to start creating a belief that every time you forget something, or you're late, or say the wrong thing, that you're self-sabotaging. Right? There are many reasons why we do things, including simply not paying attention, or just doing something stupid, or simply making a poor choice, right? What you must look for is a pattern of behavior that repeats over and over again, especially when you're on a path you actually want to be on. If you consistently pull back, or right before you're about to have your greatest success, you could be self-sabotaging. So it's very important to look for this pattern. Also, remember this, anything we do, including self-sabotage, we do with positive intent. What's that mean? Well, even if you smoke cigarettes, you are not doing it to create cancer in your body or to kill yourself, right? Your brain, at some level, conscious or unconscious, is always trying to benefit you in some way through its actions. At some stage of your life, you probably associated smoking cigarettes with being bored or stressed or frustrated, and smoking can create in your mind a distraction or a pleasure or a relief or a moment of absolute connection with yourself, right? This pattern is seen in the use of alcohol, in drugs, gambling, gaming. This is a choice you have made to move forward, perceived on pleasure. This is often the result of a mixed neuroassociation. If you have a fear of success, your brain may actually be protecting you from a situation where you may ultimately feel rejected because of success. Make sense? Good. Again, this is not your brain trying to hurt you. It may simply be trying to protect you from your fear or your perceived action of fear. Get it? Remember the neuroassociations we have talked about time and time again. We sometimes have a positive and a negative association firing off in our brains at the exact same time. So no wonder our brains get fried. We get what's called approach avoidance. We get confused, we get uncertain if the next step will cause pain or pleasure. So our brain stops everything down. Have you heard of people who have never approached a guy or a girl that they were attracted to? Well, that happens a lot. Right? Or another example, have you ever been in an intimate relationship that at the same time you were also absolutely certain was dealing pain in that relationship? Get it? So what can happen is that you could find yourself moving towards relationships out of the desire to have intimacy, to have that love and connection, but at a certain point you pull back because of the association to pain of the past or the fear of rejection to such a relationship. Right? It's very, very important. Remember, it is important to realize the intent of your self-sabotage is actually good. Your brain is on your side. Don't think it isn't. Right? You must simply condition your brain to be more effective. We are the ones who create the connections. So we are the ones that can establish control. We have the choice. Right? So let me tell you a little story. Back in the day, there was an experiment done on monkeys, right? And they were put in a cage with a red, a yellow, and a green squares. After several days, the experimenter wired up the red squares to give off intermediate electrical shocks that would cause the monkeys immediate pain. Right now, this isn't a nice story, I get it, but there is a point to this. Let me go through it. Obviously, the monkey became hyper anxious, right? It avoided the red squares at any cost. Then the experimenter set up the red and the yellow squares to give off the same shock, right? The monkey began to act as if it was a manic depressive, right? Because their perception was that no matter what they tried, he could not avoid the pain. Then the six sons of bitches, they set up the squares, all of the squares to do the electrical shock. And the monkey started to absolutely bite itself, shit on itself. It started to really flip out. It went crazy. It beat itself up because it was in constant pain. Right now, as horrifying as this story is, I tell it to you to illustrate that humans do the same thing to ourselves. We create our own cages in our brains with triggers from the past that we associate with pain. We establish our own shocks. However, we have a choice. You know that the training over the past 3 weeks, we have absolute control over what happens in our lives. And we associate when we associate to it, don't we? We can remove the negative associations and remove the experimental cage from our brain. We have learned enough techniques to change the associations, including, that erasure technique that we did the other day on Friday, and by adding more quality questions, etc., right? So, often along the journey to achieving goals and dreams and desires, people often say, I don't know what happened, but I always seem to screw things up for myself, or I'm late for meetings, I treat people mean. These are some of the things that they say. As mentioned before, sabotage is the result of identifying more pain than pleasure to the achievement of the goal or the dream that you desire. Typically, people identify more pain to when they succeed than when they're actually failing, because of the way people around them start to respond. For example, if they fail, they might get sympathy or even love in that thing, right? While if they succeed, they may receive criticism or segregation from their friends, their tribe, their family, etc. So they associate pain and pleasure to different things. So to take control back, we must change our association to what we are sabotaging, right? Understand this too. When we're looking for love and connection and believe our behavior will actually attract this connection, it is not real love. It is making people connect with you through obligation and manipulation. That is called conditional love. The ultimate solution to have love is to what? It's to give more love without expectation. And by reciprocation, you'll start to receive love back tenfold. Think about it. Whatever you give out to the world, whatever you give out to the universe, you get back. When you express love, what are you feeling? Yes, that's right. You're experiencing love. So you get it back. You get it straight away. So if you want something, you need to give it out to the universe and it automatically comes straight back to you. You got to free yourself from self-sabotage by knowing from this day forward that whenever you try to self-sabotage, you don't jump to conclusions and assume that because in the past you haven't got it right or you screwed something up, that it automatically self-sabotage, right? Simply try another approach. Remember, we've got to be flexible in our approach. Maybe you simply weren't paying attention, or maybe you weren't focused, or you had poor habits. So realize there are just bad habits. Then refocus, decide what you want to accomplish, right? Number two, if it truly is a pattern and you are subconsciously self-sabotaging, then get excited. Why? Because realize your brain is an old pattern and it's protecting you from pain, bringing you closer to pleasure. So you just need to teach your brain a better pattern, right? Very, very simple. All right, Wolves, here are 5 steps to free yourself from self-sabotage. Step number 1, identify a behavior that is keeping you from getting to your goals, stopping you or holding you back, all right? Step number 2, ask yourself, what is my positive intent, right? What is my brain protecting me from, right? Step number 3, you've got to get leverage on yourself to make the change. You've done this already many times. You write down all the things that are going to cause pain out if you're going to do this. And if you don't change this pattern, right? And all of the pleasure that you're going to get by breaking this pattern right now. Step number 4, you've got to interrupt the pattern. The simplest technique is the one we used last week, the eraser technique. All right. And step number 5, install a new pattern. You need to condition yourself having new feelings. Teach yourself pain comes from not doing it. Pleasure comes from doing it. All right. So we reassociate all of that. I'm sure this all makes sense, Wolves. You've done similar exercises over the past few weeks. We won't do this exercise right now. You can do it in your own time, but I want you to do it, okay? Make sure you go through with it. It's very, very important. What I want to talk to you about also is about how to create unstoppable confidence. The first great thing is that confidence can actually start to be created. A sense of self-confidence is nothing but a sense of power, of certainty, right? Within yourself that you can pull something off. This can be created literally in just a moment. It is as simple as a state of mind. No one is confident 100% of the time. It just doesn't happen. The key is to have the ability to turn it on when you need it. That's the key. That's about the state management, the anchoring, the making sure that we actually get it so that when we do need it, you can just switch it on. As simple as a squeeze of the fingers, right? There are 3 primary ways to create self-confidence at any time to get the most out of yourself and start producing the results that you actually want. This is the way I have learned to maximize my self-confidence, to walk over burning coals, smash through wood, jump out of planes and speak in front of 23,000+ people, making major life-changing decisions along the way. The first way, as we've spoken about this, it is physiology. Remember this, we covered this in week 1. Emotion is created by motion. To create confidence, you've got to change your body movement radically, with intensity, with power. You've got to get into the moment, right? At level 10 or above, using major explosive movements. Make sure that you go all out with that. You know when you meet somebody who is confident, don't you? You can just feel it in the way that they hold themselves, the way they move, the way they speak, the way they breathe, the way they make eye contact, right? Any emotion you feel in your body, whether it be fear, anxiety, joy, concern, depression, anger, frustration, peace, ecstasy, power, unstoppability, love, or confidence, comes from the way you use your body. Okay? The way you move, the way you breathe, the way you use your facial expressions instantly affects your emotional state. So let's do an exercise. Right now, I want you to stand up, breathe strong, right? I want you to take a huge deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out. Stay hard. Say yes. Get into a confident state. Get yourself up, breathe, and say yes, yes, and make a move. That's good. Snap into a posture where you feel absolutely unstoppable. Move as though you are absolutely, totally in control. Move your arms, move your chest, your feet in a way where you know that whatever you say or do next will be absolutely effective. Right? I want you to notice how that feels. Put the expression on your face to show how you feel. Limitless, confident. Say yes. Say it with power. All right? Feel it in your body. Say yes. Turn it on. Even more intensity and volume. Say yes. Good. Feel it in your body, right? You know you can create any result you want. You know you can do absolutely fucking anything at this point, right? Turn on confidence at any time. All right. Now imagine you are a wolf, right? Walking around with your pride, the power, the strength, the move with certainty, move with acceleration, with power. Be the wolf. Be your own personal strength. Have the balance. Have the flexibility. Be unstoppable. Feel that confidence, right? That self-control. When you feel the confidence, you can develop the competence. You'll be surprised how much more you really do know when you get yourself in the right state of mind. If it's the other way around and you have the competence but not the confidence, you're going to start to have a hard time succeeding. So understand this, right? The second way to create self-confidence is focus and language. Remember that what you focus on will determine how you feel. It may bring up doubt, and you will all of a sudden you'll start to create a self-fulfilling prophecy where there is no way, and you could feel no less confident, right? So instead of focusing constantly on how things might not work out and feeling a lack of confidence as a result, focus in a different way. Let's do this exercise. I want you to focus on something you really want to have in your life. Do in your life, or how you want to be in your life. And I want you to feel hope that you will get this in your life, right? So think of something you really want in your life, and I want you to feel hope that you're going to get it. Feel how that feels. Feel how hope feels. Right, shake it out, right? Okay, stop, right? Now I want you to do the exact same thing, and I want you to go for exactly how you want to feel, but I want you this time to absolutely, totally expect it, right? It will happen. How does this feel differently? Get into a state where you absolutely know in your head that you totally expect it to happen. Get into that state. Now, how different does that feel? Does it even look different? Do you visualize differently? Was the picture in your head more focused, clear, bright, colorful? Did it also feel more active rather than more passive than when you were actually just hoping? Did you feel that you wanted to do something? Did you feel more inspired? See, we can also control our focus by controlling the questions we ask ourselves. We covered this on day 8. Go back and review that video. That was a powerful session on asking quality questions, right? Okay, all right, break it down. All right, relax a little bit. Excellent. The third way to create self-confidence is by changing our core beliefs. We covered this on day 9 and day 10. If you walk around in life believing that the only way you will feel confident is if you have already done this thing before, or you will have this big problem, you will be limiting yourself to the number of things that you could ever feel confident about. So, can you be confident if you've never done it before? Absolutely, right? If you have a belief system that says, if I can imagine it, then I can achieve it, or if I'm committed, there is always a way to make it work. Well, think about this. Anything you do from now on, was there a time when you never had done it before? Well, why wait to get confident? Set yourself up now to be confident, or turn it on when you need it. Here is how to create a belief about feeling confident so you don't have to work at it. I'm going to explain to you something called the success cycle. I want you to think of the success cycle as 4 quadrants, right? Those who succeed tend to continue to succeed. Those who fail go down a downward spiral. It can also explain why the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, right? Not just financially, but mentally, socially, spiritually, intellectually, even physically. There are 4 elements that affect human performance. The first one is potential, right? We have potential right here. The second one is actions, right? The third one is results. The fourth one is beliefs. Now, let me explain. The first element is potential. The potential of any human being is unlimited, yet no one comes close to reaching their real potential. The second element is our actions. By itself, this element is great, but it's not enough. Imagine a salesman who is making 500 calls a day, yet does not expect to have any success or does not have the self-confidence. Imagine the results. They would not be great. Actions by themselves do not work. The third element is results. Results are the product of our actions together with our beliefs. They are the impact of fulfilling our goals. And the fourth element is the beliefs. Out of all the elements in this cycle, beliefs are the most influential to truly succeed. Why? Because success starts with belief. As your belief goes up or increases or decreases, your potential and then your actions will affect your results, which will then affect your beliefs, right? So you might have a lot of potential, but if it starts to produce poor actions, which produce poor results, which then hamper your beliefs, then that will reduce your potential, which will create even worse actions, which will give you worse results, right? Think about this. If your belief about your potential is small and you're likely to take massive action, doubt it, right? Then the little action you take is not likely to create massive results. Then what does your brain say? It says, see, I told you so. So it reinforces your belief about yourself, which continues the cycle, and worse, your belief becomes even smaller. So your resulting actions and your results reduce even more, and you get locked in the downward spiral, and you'll end up doing the very least to actually get by. The good news is the opposite is also true. If your belief about your potential is massive, you are likely to take massive action. Then the massive action you take is likely to create massive results. Then what does your brain say? See, I told you so. So it reinforces your belief about your potential, which continues the cycle, and you are locked into the success cycle. You're in a place where momentum is happening and you are cruising to the next level of success. So to improve your belief success, do not change your potential, because that was always there. You do not change your actions, though that can have some benefit. All you need to change is your results in advance. So how do we change our results in advance? Well, let's do something right now. I want you to stand up again. What I'd like you to do this time is I would like you to put both feet together so they are pointing straight ahead and together, all right? Keep your feet anchored to the floor. Now, take your right arm and I want you to bring it up straight out right in front of you, and I want you to point your right index finger directly in front of you. Point it straight ahead. When I say now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to turn to your right as far as you can, comfortably, without stretching yourself or hurting yourself, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is just go around, right around as far as we can without actually being uncomfortable and hurting yourself, right? So I want you to turn your body clockwise, and I want you to notice where you end up. I want you to notice what you point at, right? Take that down as a marker. This is going to be a really interesting exercise, trust me. Okay, now, all right, okay. So, hand up, point, and I want you to spin around as far as you can, and I want you to point at something that as far as you can. Excellent, excellent. Make sure you tick that marker. Great, now come back to me. Excellent. Okay, this time I want you to close your eyes. Right, now what I want you to do is this. I don't want you to actually raise your arm up this time. What I want you to do is imagine in your mind's eye that you're raising your arm up and that you are pointing with the index finger. So shut your eyes. I want you to, in your mind's eye, pretend that you are raising your arm up and pointing your index finger straight ahead. Right, now I want you to imagine that you are now turning your body to the right, this time twice the distance you just did previously. All right, I want you to do it with fun and joy in your heart. Just imagine yourself going twice the distance around this time. Awesome. Come back to the front. Keep your eyes closed. Hand up. We're going to repeat this imagery in your mind. Don't move. Just want you to repeat raising your arm, pointing your finger straight out in front. And this time I want you to turn your body to the right. And in your mind, I want you to go 3 times as far as the first time that you ever did it. All right? I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. I want you to actually feel like it's happening right now. Awesome. Okay, keep your eyes closed. We're going to do it one more time, okay? So you're going to imagine your hand going up, pointing in front of you. And this time, I want you to do it really quickly. Go 4 times as far as the first time, even if that means you've turned right around in a whole circle. I want you to imagine you have turned almost all the way around, okay? Awesome. Excellent. Right, now, open your eyes. This time, I want you to physically raise your arm. Right? I want you to point your finger at the front and I want you to turn your body to the right and see how far you go this time. Turn your body right around this time. See how much further that you went? Right? If you're like most people, you've gone much further than what actually happened before. So what is it that just happened? Okay, so I have a question for you. Did your potential change? No. You always had the potential to turn that far. Did you make major changes in your actions? No, you didn't. However, your results did change. Why? Because by rehearsing in your mind over and over again, you conditioned your mind to believe and feel certain that it could go much further. You created an association in your nervous system that said, this will feel good and I can go much further. So this is a perfect example of what can happen in life if you want to succeed. You must rehearse in your mind over and over again that you are succeeding and feel that it is so real for you that your brain starts to believe it. You will tap more potential, you will take better actions, and you will get better results. Then you'll reinforce those beliefs and you'll be off and running. Okay, does all have that made sense? Great, pretty cool, huh? Okay, this is how top performance athletes train their minds to reach next levels of their potential. If you really want to create incredible long-term, unstoppable confidence, all you have to do is create results that you can vividly see and feel in your mind. Awesome stuff. Excellent. Right, before we finish tonight, I want to leave you with 2 powerful tips to create unstoppable confidence. First tip, focusing too much on yourself and not on enough on other people will almost guarantee that you will lack confidence. People who focus on themselves are constantly analyzing themselves, comparing themselves to others. They are self-critical. They ask lousy questions. They ask, why is this? Why that? How come I can't do this? And they get lousy answers in their mind. They create a tremendous amount of self-doubt. So focus on other people, right? And find out how you can contribute to them. When you start giving to others, you'll become more confident about what you can do for yourself. And the second tip, you will feel more confident when you remember all of the things that you have actually accomplished already in your life. When you have been successful, when you have been competent, you have done a lot of things in your life up to now. No matter who you are, where you're from, what age you are, where you are even in your life cycle right now, there are things that you are really good at, things that you have been proud of. Whatever you have focused on a lot, you undoubtedly are good at. Remember, more of the times when you have to turn things around, tough situations, times when you did not think you could actually pull things off, yet you actually did. So here is an exercise. Grab your pens and journals. We're going to go back briefly into the past and identify 5 great successes in your life that came from overcoming a challenge, right? Grab your pen. Let's go. 5 times in your life, great successes. When was 5 times in your life that you overcame a challenge? Write them down. 5. Let's go. Go. Do it. Stop looking at me. Do it. Very good. Awesome, awesome. Next, I want you to dig into your memory banks and identify 5 of your greatest successes in life. Tough situations, situations when you didn't think you'd be able to pull it off, but you did. Okay? Done. Awesome. Later tonight, your first assessment or your first assignment is to write a paragraph about each of these successes. Use these examples to remind yourself in the future that you can get through whatever comes up in your life. Have some fun while you do it, okay? Make sure you're in a fun, energetic, and playful state while you do this. Wolves, your next assignment for tonight. Pens and journals out and jot down these 5 tasks. Number 1, I want you to identify and write down any tendency you may have to sabotage yourself. Number 2, I want you to take a moment to feel gratitude because your brain is doing a good job by trying to help you avoid pain and gain pleasure. I want you to feel good. Number 3, then get some leverage to make a change. Remember, use both the stick and the carrot. 4, interrupt the old pattern using the eraser technique. Remember the cartoon, the movie, you run backwards, right? Go back to session 19 if you need a reminder of that one. And then 5, I want you to rehearse achieving the success. I want you to rehearse achieving the success you want and feel the pleasure of succeeding until the new empowering pattern is actually conditioned in your body. Okay? So what did we cover tonight, Wolves? A lot. I get it. Firstly, anything we do, including self-sabotage, we do with positive intent. Our brain, at some level, is always trying to benefit us in some way through its actions. It's important to realize that the intent is good. Your brain is on your side. You must simply condition it to be more effective. Secondly, what's happening when we begin to sabotage ourselves is we have mixed neuroassociations. Thirdly, we learn that the 5-step process to stop the self-sabotage: identify, be grateful, get leverage, interrupt the old, and condition the new beliefs. And lastly, we also learn that we can create unstoppable confidence using a triad of physiology, focus, and beliefs. And by understanding how the success cycle of potential actions, results, and beliefs actually works. That's it, Wolves. Go forward with unstoppable confidence. Another massive session to start week 4. Tomorrow, day 23. I know we said 33. You will learn 2 simple ways to massively increase your physical well-being and energy levels. I want you to have a great night, Wolves. All the notes will be posted straight afterwards. Wolves, let out a massive, unstoppable, confident howl. Oh! And I want to hear that all friggin' week. Wolves, I love you to death. You have an amazing week. Let's go, let's go, let's go.